post-show. Right, okay. So, what did you guys think of the episode?
That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I noticed they did go a lot more of a action route this time. I mean, there were still some jokes in there, and there was still some humor in there, but they actually took a little bit more of an action route that time. Something we haven't seen yet. Yeah, there was a lot of action, especially in the latter half. But it was still a pretty good episode, and I still got some laughs out of it.
There was one moment that very much I raised my eyebrow at, which was when they're going in for the attack first of all against the appliances, and Styx uses, I think she uses her boomerang on the till and protects intern Dave, actually.
Intern Dave the intern. It's a very specific order.
Yes, well, she protected Dave, in brackets intern, and then somehow she force summoned the boomerang back to her when it had been buried into the till. I was like, this isn't how boomerangs work. Unless
it's force hammer.
Unless
Styx is 4.
Oh god, that's a terrible. It's bad enough. It's bad enough describing her as Batman as the drawing you did the other week.
Yes, I did draw that Batman drawing.
So are we saying that Styx has some sort of telekinetic powers? Is Styx this universe's Silver? Ooh, there's a discussion for another day. Is Styx Silver?
Oh no, the ableist trigger.
Oh no, the ableist trigger.
Everyone would be an ableist trigger in her eyes. Like everyone.
You're an ableist trigger, and you're an ableist trigger, and you're an ableist trigger. I know you're the ableist trigger because the voices in my head tell me you are.
And you get a trigger, and you get a trigger.
Why are there so many triggers?
Trigger warning. Oh boy, I shouldn't have made that joke. It was terrible.
You're late for that now.
Yep,
yeah.
I've made it. Everybody knows I'm a shithead.
Right. So, anything that stood out for you guys?
Tails and his relationship with his plane.
Serious Tails answering to Knuckles. Yes, I am. I love my plane.
Yes, my plane is good. My plane is good. I love my plane. I love my plane. If you take me from the plane, I will think only of the plane.
So,
give me my plane back.
Donnie, anything from your side?
In regards to the episode,
anything stand out for you?
Had to be the use of the Interbeam. I was really glad to see that return again, because it's been months now since we last saw it.
Oh no, I made a mistake in the episode, I just realised, because we did see it in episode 1, didn't we?
It was in episode 1 that we last saw the Interbeam, yeah.
We've not seen it since then.
That's a long time.
Until now, so...
That's like...
I think we've seen it more than once before, but we see it infrequently.
I think, to be fair, I think the reason why is because the writers, they only use something when it's convenient to the plot or it helps the plot out. And if the Interbeam isn't really going to contribute anything, well, there's no point in it being in there. And I do like that. I do like how the writers only include something when they feel it's relevant to the plot or if it would actually contribute.
No point shoehorning stuff in.
Yeah,
it's true.
Right. I did ask whether or not people had questions, and Frogman had one. Because I don't think there's much more we can really say about that episode. That episode worked a lot better for me on the second go round. Actually, on the first go round, I was pretty much just going, huh. It was strangely funnier for me second time round. Take that whichever way you like. Frogman says, what other predictions can you make, since it seems most of them have come true in some way? What? Ooh. Anybody care to make a prediction?
A prediction?
An episode content prediction.
Oh.
Yeah.
Apparently not.
5 Sonics.
5 Sonics. Oh yeah, Sonic is split up into his constituent color parts, which again would be a Sonic X thing, comic ring.
It was in the comics, yes.
It would also be a Teen Titans thing as well.
Teen Titans, boom.
No, you're not allowed.
Maybe.
No.
I don't know. I'd try it.
No, okay.
Oh.
Okay, you can have it. You can have that, Donnie.
I've never watched Teen Titans Go, so I mean, I don't
all,
think I'm missing much.
all you need to know is that you just need to hate it in comparison to to the previous series, because apparently that's the average opinion. Things that would
okay then.
So Sonic character and character. One of those characters most likely being Sonic. Engage in a series of contests to prove who is the toughest, or there's like some sort of like Iron Man contest with all the various characters, and it comes down.
This is sounding familiar.
Yeah, but with everybody, and it comes down to bizarrely Sonic versus like somebody who was like completely written off at the beginning, like
Sonic versus
Cubot.
Fastidious Beaver.
Cubot or something, and then someone like Fastidious Beaver.
And then the Beaver wins.
Yeah, and then someone like Fastidious Beaver wins, who was like a complete rank outsider.
Actually.
Yeah, so something like that will occur. Somebody borrows Tails' plane and crashes it or scratches it, and then goes through all manner of lengths to not tell the truth. That'll be an episode. What else will there be? Knuckles goes for a King of the Beach competition, or somebody comes onto the beach, like that ox-like character, or the bull-like
Just Knuckles
character.
at the beach. That's an episode.
An episode of Knuckles on the beach, and Knuckles like trying to up himself and be the strongest guy on the beach. Or Knuckles.
Imagine if it's just a long sequence of Knuckles on the beach.
Knuckles gets bullied off the beach. Would actually be an episode. Would actually be an interesting.
That would also
episode.
be a good episode as well. But I'm having a very specific thought of just Knuckles on the beach.
Just Knuckles on the beach, just sort of sitting there.
Because apparently that's where he lives. So just Knuckles living his life on the beach.
Well, that would be the thing, because to actually find out that turns out, actually.
Yep.
Actually, that's where I live, and I've been thrown out of where I live because this beach bum bullies come along. That would be an episode. One of the penguins from Amy's campaign comes to stay with her and gets into hijinks. Amy takes it upon herself to teach Sonic at last how to swim.
That was a Sonic X episode.
Sort of, yeah.
Well, it didn't work, did it?
It didn't work, but it was really cute. It was a cute episode. I had feels.
Other team members discover that team member has secret hobby they are ridiculously good at, but because it's an art subject, they feel very insecure about it.
Wouldn't work because we have Amy.
Yeah, but that's right. It would work if it was one of the guys. And that's
kind of sad, guys. It is okay to do art things.
Absolutely, but from a TV show point of view, that would actually kind of make sense if it was like Knuckles or Tails or Sonic had this. Yeah, they were really, really good at this like very specific art style or creating something, and it just turned out that. So yeah, it turns out like Knuckles is an expert ice sculptor or something, like really bizarre, like fantastic.
Who was the expert ice sculptor? Because we had that in an episode already. We had ice sculpture in an episode.
There you go, tie-in. You could do it the other way around and not use ice, but have it that one of Knuckles' skills that he creates these amazing, sand sculptures.
When we're not
huge
burying
sandcastle competition. There you go. There's another episode. One of.
But yes, good. Actually, that'd be great.
Well, considering the next week's episode is supposed to be the episode Soul Power, where Sonic must give up his speed when it causes a deafening tone, and Dr. Eggman may have a remedy. Yeah. Who knows what'll happen?
There's Sonic Labyrinth then.
Hmm. Well, I was before you said that, I was going to say Sonic, hurts his leg and then has to be weighted on hand and foot.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was an episode later on down the line where Sonic can't run or something.
Got to go not as fast.
Gotta go moderately because my doctor said.
Yeah, gotta go. Yeah, gotta go pedestrian because I have a doctor's note.
Then finds out he enjoys it.
Yeah, and then finds out he's actually seeing.
And then people have to shift him back.
Yeah, then finds out he's like seeing all this like scenery and this wonderful stuff that he didn't have the time to see before, and he's like, "Wow, all this was around." That'd be a pretty good episode because it was just like,
I would
okay,
like an episode in the future where characters wear cardigans.
Yeah, that's just you. That's just your episode.
Yes.
Actually, that would be a thing. It turns out Knuckles knits.
Oh.
He uses the spikes on his knuckles as...
I don't think that was actually physically possible.
But I'd love to see him try. That would be great. Any more ideas? We haven't got Shadow or Metal Sonic into any of these episode ideas, by the way, so people will be disappointed with us. So yes, I still think Styx finds broken Metal Sonic, transforms him into Robot Butler. Would be a great episode.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm glad everyone agrees.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Get this idea airborne.
It would just be wonderful to see everyone just absolutely terrified of Metal Sonic being around the place, and just like Eggman being really upset because you've perverted my work. My masterpiece, and look, you've ruined it.
Sounds about right, yeah.
Metal Jeeves or something.
Metal Jeeves.
Metal Jeeves.
I'm gonna have to draw Metal Jeeves, aren't I?
Metal Jeeves.
Do I have to draw Metal Jeeves?
Ask the Jeeves original fan character, do not search.
Yes.
Oh god, that's going back.
Very good, my lady. All washing up has been cleaned.
You could tell I'm a veteran of the internet.
There's one. Styx discovers cat pictures on the internet, and can't be.
Oh boy!
Somebody becomes addicted to the internet. Actually, there's one.
Yeah.
We have to get a character off the internet. That sounds potentially disastrous. Let's do it.
Why not?
But at one point, also, all the characters will be forced by Styx to actually wear tinfoil hats.
Okay, at this point, we're just giving out fanfic ideas. And I'm okay with this.
We're not giving out fanfic ideas. This is season 2. It's official.
Please write fanfic
didn't you
anyway.
hear? Didn't you hear from one of the previous episodes? Apparently, this is official. So we're just confirming stuff now. There we go. Comedy Chimp is fired and has to do some kind of comeback style show, which Sonic because Sonic was. Wait, this is just like one of the crusty episodes from The Simpsons. Hey, just rip that off, it's fine.
Oh, no.
Tails becomes the hero for a series of events, and Sonic gets jealous. All of these, really. All of these.
All of them.
All of them. They're all coming true. And
they're possibly coming true. And if
Frogman, if they don't come true, that's just because the Boom team have been lazy and not actually produced them. So if they don't come true, it's all their fault. There you go.
If it doesn't come true, that's because they have a legal reason not to listen to us.
Yeah. Wait, there. Wait, it's in law now. They don't-
It is now. I mean,
yeah.
That's not what I meant, but okay.
Don't listen to the idiots. I can cite precedents. Don't listen. No, then don't listen to us anyway. We just have bad ideas.
I mean, we supported a musical for a good while. I mean, what can you say?
Yeah, I think I confirmed on Twitter that that the last episode of the Commentaries would be a musical episode. If they don't do an episode and the series ends, the last commentary we do will be a musical. I think that'd be a great idea. I've already confirmed you to do an operatic version of "Gotta Go Fast," Donnie. So,
Oh God.
better start practicing.
Do I have to sing the opera version of "Gotta Go Fast" as Rouge as well?
No, don't be ridiculous. You need to do it in your range, sir. You do it in your range.
Well, considering Rouge is part of my range.
Yeah, well, I'd like to pretend that it isn't. That's what we're
I think
saying.
we all like to pretend it isn't,
Yeah.
but you know.
Yeah.
I would.
Boy. Any more ideas before I go on to the last topic? Because we did have this question specifically sent in. It was asked of me, and I said that I would address it at the very least. No.
Yeah.
Anybody else? No.
Nothing that I'm aware of. I think we pretty much got a lot of what we felt about the episode pretty early on.
Yeah. I mean, it was really good. Okay.
It was a very straightforward episode, so.
Yeah, I didn't think there was much you could say about it. Really, it was just like. It was good, nice.
Yep.
Why hey?
Why hey?
It wasn't challenging my top 5 in any way, shape, or form. It was, in fact, I'd probably rate it quite low, but only because it felt quite middling.
Yeah, it didn't exactly target humor this time compared to the others, but at the same time, the show is so good that even saying if you say its show is good, it's only low because, well, there's a lot of episodes that are even better.
Yeah, the bits that I liked the most was actually the action bits, and it was more like the aside bits on that as opposed to anything else. Anyway, yeah. So Lizzie Selvas, Lizzie Hedgehog, you may know online, tweeted me and said, "Hey, I wonder how come you get all these various bits of merchandise overseas and we don't get them in the US. You get all this super cool promo stuff for Sonic, but in America we don't." As like, would I be able to explain that in some way? And of course, somebody came in and immediately said the opposite case. It was like, hey, well, no, but that's wrong. You guys in America get all this cool stuff, and we in Europe don't get it. So would I be able to explain this? Okay, here's how it goes. For a start, I mean, from a merchandising point of view, obviously you have a better setup in the US in terms of general merchandise. The majority of the sort of the general stuff, so the toys, whether it's it's Jazzwares in the past or whether it's Tomy now, that's America centric. You've got it set up at various outlets. It's much more readily accessible. If you go to any Toys R Us in the US, you will always find Sonic stuff. Whereas certainly in the UK at least, it's a case of even in like major game shops like Game. Have we just lost Cat?
Have we?
Or we just lost Donnie? Hello? We lost somebody. You both there? I'm going.
Donnie.
Yep.
That's mysterious.
Donnie has gone. He'll be back. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. So, there
we go.
Go ahead.
There we go.
Oh no, he's back. Okay, we're fine.
He's back.
Yeah, my Skype
please.
My Skype is so lovely,
That's why it's free. Where was I? So yeah, even in like major game outlets like Game, you often wouldn't find anything Sonic related. So there is that difference in that. So in that sense, you've got very specific stuff going on in regards to merchandising in the US versus in Europe, because of the way that that's set up is. For promotional stuff, though, this is where it all goes a bit different. Promotional stuff is created by the marketing budgets within each territory. So, for instance, so Sega America have a marketing budget, and they use that in all manner and degrees of marketing. So they may well create something with that. It could be a T-shirt, it could be a poster, it could be one of the more sort of crazy things that we've had in the past, like the snowboards for Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Winter Games or something like that.
Actually, there's a question: whose fault is it for the inflatable sword?
From Sonic and the Black Knight.
Yeah, that one you sent me in a box.
Oh, that was a very long time ago.
That was a very long time ago. I still remember it.
That was everybody. That was everyone in some form or fashion. Okay, so
that's the greatest universal merchandise that's ever existed.
The inflatable sword from Sonic and the Black Knight. Yeah, that was.
I've you off.
That was great, because that was great, I guess, in a way, because it was relatively cheap. But so, as I was saying, you have these various territories who they do their own thing, and they split up what that budget is between promotional merchandising and advertisements and advertisements on TV and print marketing and and taking out creating events and sponsorship deals, and everything from that comes from that singular pot, and each territory will use that money that they have solely on the basis of what works best for their territory. Now, so you have instances where things are only available in certain territories. That's because those two territories, be it say Sega America or Sega UK and Islands, we're not talking about Sega Europe here, Sega UK and Ireland, and Sega France, and Sega Germany, and Sega Spain, and Sega Benelux, and obviously Sega within Australia and Sega Japan will all do their own things. Sometimes they'll come together and work together and pool their money and resources together to create merchandise. However, that is not a guarantee that other territories will want to do that, because they'll want to spend their money on what works best for them. And if what works best for them is advertisements, paying to get something as like an exclusive for GameStop, that's more likely what they're going to do. They're more likely to go and spend money on getting stuff that gets them publicity at the likes of GameStop in the US, as opposed, because that guarantees them shelf space and promotion in GameStop, as opposed to the European point of view, where Sonic's obviously Sonic tends to be a much bigger franchise. It was much more Sega base in Europe as opposed to Nintendo during the Sega Nintendo days. So as a result, there's a slightly different attitude within Europe. People are more likely to pre-order, but they like to be encouraged to pre-order. So things that are more promotional merchandise based tend to be created in Europe. Are you with me so far? Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Right. So that's why that balance is different. What you tend to see, moreover, because remember, they're also using this marketing budget to produce general Sega stuff as well. This is specifically for like internal events, for things that are going on where the company is represented. They'd like to do various packs for press packs as well, is one of the things that obviously this money is spent on. And they will then so they spend the money that way. That's why you had like the Generations box because there was much more of a collector's market. It's much more of a Sonic fan that would spend that kind of money within Europe, which is why I don't think did they even get that in the end? US Generations, the big box.
I
I
don't
believe-
know if they did.
I don't think at the same time I want to say yes. I want to say no.
Well, I mean, it was if they did, they certainly didn't announce it. That I recall, but that's the reason why, because there was that kind of market that they could sell that within Europe. One thing, though, that breaking that down even further, you'll find, is that there's a very specifically 2 locations. This has been said before, so I'm not exactly saying anything new, or this is not Oz lifting the curtain or anything and revealing everything that's going on. Certain territories that becomes even more prevalent, and there's a reason for that, and that's piracy. And there are 2 territories which tend to get, you may notice this, more like merchandising giveaways. And they get very specific ones, and they often get unique ones specifically to the territory. Number 1 of these is Spain. And number 2 is Australia. Australia get an awful lot of various merchandise. You'll see this from everything in the Sega range, not just from Sonic, but to things like Yakuza. They tend to get that. Now, a lot of that, in fairness, a lot of that sort of piracy, and specifically Australian fairness, was in the past due to the whole problem that Australia had in relation to actually getting hold of these games, because games obviously not coming out because of like an adult rating, or being delayed in some fashion because of that, and that really encouraged piracy. But that's one of the things that those territories then do in Spain and Australia, is that they put more money into producing merchandise that can be used in like promotional fashion in order to secure the pre-orders, to actually secure genuine sales in those territories, because otherwise it's not going to be as profitable an enterprise for them. And that is why it seems that Europe gets more promotional stuff than the US, because in that sense it is true. However, at the same time, from the European side, they look over to America, they see a lot of their other stuff, and games, like I say, GameStop get all these exclusives in terms of merchandise as well, which is like exclusive for their territories. So both sides look at the other in terms of both sets of fans both look at the other and go, hey, you guys get the better deal. When in actuality, it's driven by the need for securing sales, and it's also driven by the marketing budgets of the individual territories. If one of the territories has not done something that the other territory has, that's because that wouldn't work as well in your territory. Bad news for you if you're missing out on stuff, but from Sega's point of view, they're trying to make the most money possible, and make use of the whatever amount of money that they have to actually promote the game to do that. And that is the reason why.
There you go.
That was very informative.
Tune in next week where we talk about farts and other crazy things and ruin this entirely. But yeah, so look what happens if you get a serious question. But that's also what that then also works with Boom. Hey, remember Sonic Boom? That also works with Boom though, because all the marketing and production and stuff is obviously very much American-centric at the moment. This, if you ask me, is one of the reasons why it's been struggling so much in terms of the game, because it was like all focus suddenly switched to America, and there's like sold everybody else, and then everyone else was like, well, why the heck should we buy the game? Funnily enough, and I know the Europe and Japan teams do a fantastic job normally on that, but there was no encouragement from buy-ins on bundles and stuff, which is usually Sega's bread and butter. There wasn't any inclusion from what I could see for 3DS, in terms of bundles in game stores. There certainly wasn't in the Wii U either. It wasn't, as far as I could see, it wasn't really included in any of those. Those normally secure Sega an absolute ridiculous amount of sales. Didn't happen, and part of that was because what is this? Because all the focus was in America. But that's the way things happen. Right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that fantastic discussion. But
quite riveting, huh?
You give a business question, you'll get a business answer. This is how this stuff works. Please, if you're listening to the LMC video, like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe. It's lovely. We do wonderful things. You can go watch Cat play Phoenix Wright and do other things. There's all sorts of Sonic stuff as well. Also, what stuff have you got coming up, Donnie? In terms of your activities?
I do think I have a meeting with the people at Hellfire Comms for coming up the Nintendothon next Sunday, I believe it is. I know there's the any Brady's Sega antics. I know there's a Sega Lounge I have to do midweek or something, but other than that, not much else really.
So if you're a Sonic fan, just tune into anything and you'll find Donnie on it. And Kat, we can look forward to more episodes of Let's Play Phoenix Wright from you, I guess, coming up in the future.
Presumably.
Yep. Every Thursday on the last minute continue. Check it out. There's like 4 entire cases already, with Kat leading the way on that.
And maybe I'll start recording the third game.
Dun dun dun.
Maybe.
Maybe
not. Maybe I'll sleep. That's all I do lately. Give me a job. Somebody give me a job, please. Please, for the love of God.
From my side, if you go on a place called vrfocus.com, I'm doing some work on there at the moment, so you can find out. You can read a fantastic article written by me about the old children's TV show Nightmare, actually, and the potential to bring that over to VR. I suggest you go and read that and do wonderful things, and follow VR Focus on Twitter and stuff. And you can also follow us all on Twitter individually as well. We say wonderful things.
No, I don't.
You just get angry with people.
That's the place at which I choose to get angry. And
tune in next week, guys. We'll have more Sonic Boom related stuff. We'll answer any questions you have in the post show, and all in all, have a good week. See you then.
Ta-ta!
Do you want to say goodbye, Donnie?
Oh, bye.